another edition of my Spin and Make-Along vlogs. As part of the Spin and Make-Along 2019, these vlogs are meant to allow you to journey along with me as I practice my spindle spinning and work on different projects with the ultimate goal of making some beautiful knit or maybe even crochet projects with my hand-spun yarn. In this installment, I actually just wanted to share with you some travel spinning that I did as part of the travel for my journey to and from the Woollinn Dublin Festival of Yarn. It was an amazing time in Ireland, and I did bring my spindle with me. My Very Classy Spindle is super lightweight, and I was able to bring that and a couple of the finished singles on the spare shafts, as well as some fiber, without adding very much to my luggage weight overall. And so in the course of the trip, you'll see in the clips that I did some spinning as well as some Andean bracelet making, I guess you would call that. I wound my singles into an Andean Plying Bracelet. And then I took the singles and plied them as a 2-ply on a larger spindle that I'd brought with me. I actually found that the last time I did some hand spun, it was really difficult to get the 2-ply that I was making to keep the spindle balanced. I was using a smaller spindle. In fact, it was the same one that I had used to create the singles, and I tried to ply on that same spindle. And as I got further along and the cop got really large, the spindle just really couldn't handle it, and so it made the last part of that 2-ply process a little tricky. So this time I brought my larger spindle along with me, knowing that if I had time, I would want to ply on that larger one, and that worked out great, actually. It was really easy. That's a shocked spindle. I'll link to the information for those tools in the description box below. So just a short vlog this time to share with you some of my travel spinning. And yeah, I'll see you on the other side. I had a pretty long flight back home from Dublin, so I thought I would use the time in flight to work on an Andean Plying Bracelet. And this is something that I learned recently, so I want to share it with you. You can see here the shape that the beginning of the wrapped yarn makes around my hand, but I want to show you how we get started with making the bracelet. The bracelet actually begins with some particular wrapping techniques so that you end up with a very useful bracelet format for getting both ends of your singles ready for plying. Here you can see I have the end of the yarn tucked into a bracelet that I'm wearing, but you could also wrap it around your thumb. That's just the beginning to secure one end of the yarn. I've tucked in an end of the single to the bracelet so that I know I can get back to it, and I'm going to be working the yarn around my fingers in a specific order. So the middle finger is pretty important here. You're going to be wrapping the single on both the right side and the left side of that middle finger, and then around the back of your hand. Now I'll explain this a little more closely and step by step, but I want you to get an idea of all the parts of the hand that are involved. Your thumb, your middle finger, and your pinky are particularly important, and the back of your hand is used in between each of the movements. I'm showing you a view now from the back of my hand so I can talk you through step by step each of the wraps that are involved in making the bracelet. And you pretty much repeat these. So in order to create a wrap that won't be tangled and won't give you trouble to pull the singles free, you're going to go from your thumb up and around the right side of your middle finger, and then back around your thumb and to the back of your hand and across. Then you're going to go up and around the left side of your middle finger, and then down towards your pinky and back across the back of your hand. So again, up and around the right side of your middle finger, down towards the thumb, across the back of your hand, up and around the left side of your middle finger, down and towards the pinky, then across the back of your hand. Once you get going on the bracelet, you can kind of see the shape that's being created. You're essentially layering these wraps in a way that makes them very easy to unravel when you have both ends of your singles and you're going to ply them. So just giving you an idea of what those wraps look like. Now here I'm just using my finger to further demonstrate the direction. Up and around your middle finger on the right side, back, down towards your thumb, around your thumb, across the back of your hand, and then up towards the middle finger on the left side, around the middle finger, and back down towards the pinky and wrap across the back of your hand. And then the sequence starts all over again. At this point, the plane ride was getting a little bit bumpy, so I apologize for the vibration here. But essentially what I'm doing is, once I've got all the singles wrapped, I slowly and somewhat gently pull the yarn over my middle finger. So from the back off of my middle finger towards my palm. And at this point, I'm just sliding small bunches of strands gently off the middle finger until they've all been released. And this is where the bracelet part comes in. So you have a nice loosely wrapped bracelet. I'm holding the final end of the single just between my fingers, and then I'm releasing that first end of the yarn from where I had it held on my blue bracelet in this case. So I've got the starting end of the single and the final end of the single. These are my 2 plies. With the yarn held loosely on my wrist, I can take both ends, hook them onto my spindle, and begin my 2-ply. And as you might know, when I do a single ply in the clockwise direction, which is a Z twist, I then do the plying of 2 singles together in a counterclockwise direction, also known as an S twist. I found a nice spot in the Boston airport to sit down and just slowly ply the 2 singles together. Because I'm seated, the spindle can only go but so far. It's not much of a distance to the ground. But sometimes I like to use this positioning just to give my shoulders and wrists a break. Initial skein from this polwarth braid is done, 2-ply, and I'm really happy with it. You can see the difference in the color sections where it's some coral, some barber pulling between coral and yellow, and then some primary yellow spots. Very happy with that. Yeah, so just gonna keep spinning, and I hope you will too. Well, this project has a few stages left, but it's really nice to see the progress, and this finished skein is good motivation. This is that Owl About Yarn polwarth braid. So I've got a finished skein, kind of shows what's possible. I have another spindle shaft's worth of singles to ply. And you can see just at the top here that this one is mostly yellow. I'm really looking forward to that because it's just bright and cheerful. I've actually already started on the third spindle shaft on my Very Classy Spindle from the Classy Squid Fiber Co. This one is more of a mix of the different colors that were in this Tequila Sunrise braid. So that's underway. And of course I've got the remaining fiber. I just dropped a little bit. Some of it is still in kind of the original small nests that I had put together. And then some of it is in very squished up row-like forms because I traveled with this fiber. So a little bit squishy, but still totally usable. So you can see I have lots of the yellow left with some little bits of the pink and coral colors. So still an amount of good times to look forward to with this project. And yeah, I'm sure that the best way for me to keep you guys updated is to post to my Ravelry Hands Fun page and possibly show this again on another podcast when it's all done in the finished skeins. If you've also got some progress photos or any way for me to check out your progress on the Spin and Make Along, be sure to let me know in the comments. I hope you guys have a great week. If all goes well, I should be back to working with my spindle again very soon. At some point this week, I want to make some more headway on that last spindle shaft. So in the meantime, I wish you a very good week, and thanks so much as always for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.